I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investment Pitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Tim Bos, the co-founder and CEO of ShareRing. Tim, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking the time to be here today.
Thanks, Ashton. Thanks for inviting me on.
I'm really excited for this discussion. I'd love to kick it off by just hearing more about what is ShareRing, what does your platform do, and how is it changing the sharing economy?
Yeah, sure. So, what we've done at Sharing over the last couple of years is we're basically developing the backbone of the next generation sharing economy. So, I guess you might want to know what that means. So, in summary, our vision is really build technology with a blockchain platform to connect people, places, and commerce globally. So, the things that we're basically doing is operating in certain areas: travel and aviation, finance and banking, government and cities, logistics and transportation. So a lot of our community know us as a company that's been working in the travel industry, but we are working in a number of other industries at the moment as well. So the underlying technology that we've developed are really sort of based around identity management, so self-sovereign identity, document storage and verification, on-demand access services like booking, rentals, and things like that. Peer-to-peer marketplaces, so e-commerce as well as standard sharing economy, and then also micro payments. So that's sort of the platform that we've developed that underpins all of those other sort of industries that we're working in.
It's really interesting, and it's great to be expanded out into different industries and have your hands on all those different pots. Now, when I think of the sharing economy and the sort of the problems that are in there right now, the main one that comes to mind is that the middlemen are taking a large cut of something just for having the platform. Now, is that the main problem that you're solving, or can you elaborate on the scope and the size of the problem, and maybe there's other problems as well?
Yeah, sure. It's definitely one of the problems that we're helping to solve, and it's not just about sort of taking that middleman out. It's also helping some of these smaller companies that are forced to use those larger middlemans to be seen and to be to actually run their business. So we're basically helping to shorten the gap between that supplier and the customer. It's not necessarily just peer-to-peer. It could be a business-to-consumer relationship, a business-to-business relationship, and consumer-to-consumer relationship. So we sort of see ourselves as B2B2C. Other issues that, in my experience in the sharing economy, which is about 14, 15 years experience, other issues that we've noticed are centralization of user data. So hacks happen all the time. User data is hacked and taken and used and all that sort of stuff. So our digital identity solution and document verification solution helps actually solve that problem. It's the speed of the transactions, things like micropayments, cross-border payments, sign-ups. Like if I wanted to use, say, 6 different sharing economy products right now, I need to sign up 6 different times and give my ID to 6 different companies. And what we do is we try to remove that requirement to give my information to so many different companies as well.
That's super interesting. And with this solution, is there something unique, proprietary? Is it the identity system or specific technology of the blockchain which gives you guys a competitive advantage in the market?
Yeah, the identity solution is actually very unique. So we've taken quite a different approach where a lot of identity and even self-sovereign identity platforms, what they do is they centralize the verification of that identity. So in that example, what would happen is someone would sign up, Sharing would verify that ID, do a digital fingerprint of that ID, and then that would be verified. But what we've done is we've actually expanded that and allowed for third-party verification of identity, and then also peer-to-peer verification of identity. So what that means is even beyond, say, standard passport and driver's license, maybe a certain sharing economy company or a company might require a unique type of ID, maybe an Aadhaar card from India. So instead of us actually verifying it, maybe there's a supplier in India that verifies Aadhaar cards. So they put their digital fingerprint on it to say they are the verifier. And then when it gets sent to, say, the rental company, they can see, oh, that company is the one that verified it. We don't support verifications from that company, so we won't support that ID. So we actually we take ourselves out of the equation even with the identity management. And it's similar with our payment system, our micropayments. We actually have developed it so we don't need to be part of that whole equation. We can actually support cross-border payments, FX and all that sort of stuff through our platform, and other companies can jump in and provide their own payment services on our platform without us actually being involved. So we don't want to create yet another middleman, basically.
Totally. That makes sense. And I find it really interesting with this identity management platform in the sharing economy, because identity management, digital identities is a huge industry in itself. And I would like you to walk me through that buy versus build, and having the identity platform in there. It's like, I feel like it's a lot of work to have that all in-house, which it makes sense. But to have that sharing economy, what was your thought process behind that?
Well, I mean, when we started about 2.5 years ago, we actually looked at what was available. Like I truly believe in not reinventing the wheel. If there's technology out there that does it and does a really good job and fulfills all the requirements, use that technology. And, particularly around a lot of the different dApps and stuff on blockchain technology, there's a lot of really good things out there. But what we found when we started this process, we even looked at, should we build on Ethereum? Should we build on at Neo at the time, Waves, all these different architectures, and we realized that none of them actually solved all of the problems that we wanted to do. So we decided to build on Tendermint, our own blockchain platform on top of that. And in terms of identity management, at the time, nothing actually ticked all of the boxes once again. And there's some really good digital ID platforms that solve certain problems, but what we wanted to do was solve a wide range and make something that's a lot more flexible, not necessarily just controlled by us, and allows actually people to extend on it and build on top of it as well. So I'm hoping when we release Sharing ID in the next few weeks, for people to actually use and get into and build on top of, people actually realize that and appreciate the fact that they can build their own businesses on top of what we've done.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And you mentioned, and I read on the site, that one of the main focuses was travel and bookings and vacations and things like that. And obviously that's taken a pivot with the pandemic and the lockdowns. Can you talk about how much that's affected your strategy moving forward?
Yeah, in fact, the interesting thing is since the pandemic happened, what we did is we stepped back and said, okay, where are we at in our roadmap? And our roadmap was really, let's launch our travel product in March, and the travel product was going to be hotels with express check-in, working with a lot of boutique hotels and some larger chain hotels, activities and a bunch of other things. And when COVID hit and everything was shut down, we basically said, okay, this gives us a chance to either sit down and wait and push through it and then relaunch when it comes back up, or let's double down and actually accelerate our roadmap and build and enhance our products a lot more over this period of time. And that's exactly what we've done. We've doubled our team size, got a lot more developers on board. We accelerated our e-commerce platform and development and rolled that out, which has done really well for us. We've added more functionality to the identity product. We've added more sort of travel providers. We're also working on what we call the Open World Passport, which is a COVID-19 type passport to help open the borders again, talking to a number of countries and companies about partnering with them on that platform. So, yeah, I mean, for us, we've gone from singular focus on travel, and then after travel, it's going to be this, and this, to now focusing on, travel, Open World Passport, and e-commerce all in parallel with a much, much larger team as well.
That's really interesting, and it's great to see that you're able to pivot like that really quickly. Now, I'm curious, because you mentioned your strategy and that there's actually a lot of growth going on. First of all, are there any restrictions besides obviously putting your identity in there for people to start using ShareRing right now? And also, because of the e-commerce and the vacation, it seems like it's globally accessible. Are you seeing growth in specific geographic regions of the world right now?
Yeah, so, I mean, the first question, any restrictions for anyone to use it now? So we have launched our mainnet. People can actually jump in and have a look at that. We've actually released our API. The one thing that we haven't done is actually unlocked it to allow people to build their own products on top of it. The plan is in December that we'll actually allow people to start doing that. In December, we are also launching the Sharing ID app. with some travel and some other functionality in there, and then also the shop within the app. So I guess December is a huge month for us in terms of the launches, giving people, the community, the ability to integrate with it, and then also providing more information about some of the integrations we've done with our existing partners. In terms of the other question, in terms of the regions that we're looking at, so Thailand's been a big focus of ours, only because we've got great relationships with a number of companies, government and things like that over there. So I guess in terms of the first regions, the ASEAN region, so there's the sort of Southeast Asian nations is really where our primary focus is now. Not to say that we're not sort of looking at other areas, but that's where we seem to be getting the most traction at the moment.
That's great. And I was reading that you've also partnered with the China Blockchain Service Network, who've also partnered with Ethereum, Neo, Tezos, and some of the largest blockchains. That's really interesting. Can you tell me, what does that relationship mean, and what does that look like going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the simplest way to explain what it means for us is it means more access to our platform. So through the Blockchain Services Network, what they're doing is simplifying access for businesses to integrate and use blockchain technology through their sort of portal and API and all of that sort of stuff. So it means a lot to us in terms of providing more access to more companies to be able to easily build on our platform. But the other thing is it also gives companies the ability to sort of say cherry pick technologies. So they might sort of see some dApps on Ethereum or one of the other platforms that have partnered with the BSN and say, let's use that here and ShareRing's digital ID solution and this over here, and actually create a single system that I guess is a homogeneous system that uses bits of technology from the other chains instead of aligning themselves with a single blockchain, which is great for us and all of the other chains because it actually helps our technology shine instead of just talking about what blockchain platform we've written on.
That's great. And yeah, with Tendermint and Cosmos, one of the keys is blockchain interoperability, especially as the space continues to grow. You want to have everyone working together, rather than competing against each other, because there's this still so small in early stage with this new technology. So that's great to hear. Now, you mentioned a couple of things with what's coming up, the Share ID, a lot of things coming up in December. I just want to look one more step forward beyond that and sort of your vision for ShareRing in 2021 and how you see yourselves growing.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2021 for us is really it's all about user and business acquisition. So if we look at sort of what our plan as a business is, the three areas that we focus on for 2021 is user acquisition. So we've got a number of campaigns lined up to basically bring users on board. It's partner and business acquisition as well. So assisting a number of companies to integrate with our platform, to consume information that's from say identities and things like that on our platform, and then also to start working with the community on building their own dApps and their own sort of interaction and integration with our platform. We've had huge amount of demand from developers or people with ideas of what they can build on our platform, and we're actually looking forward to opening the doors a lot more and allowing them to sort of come in and start interacting with the platform and building some really cool apps. That's the one thing that probably excites me more than anything is to see what other people can actually build on top of it.
Definitely, that is exciting. And you mentioned that the mainnet is live, but you're looking at that dApp solution for developers and also just for people that are interested in the sharing economy. What's the best way for them to follow along with the updates and get involved with ShareRing?
Yeah, I mean, they can jump on our website at sharing.network. We've got a great blog there. One of the recent blog entries was actually a publication of our API, so they can sort of look at the functionality that's available there. We've also got a very strong Telegram community. So the Telegram community is at ShareRing. So basically, anyone can sort of jump in there and ask questions. It's very, very welcoming. There's a lot of very smart people in there that are more than happy to answer questions as well.
Great. Well, I'll leave those links in the description box below as well. That's all the time that we have for the interview, Tim, but I really appreciate you coming on, and all the best with ShareRing. Hopefully you guys have a great December, and let's follow up in the near future.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashton. Appreciate it.